Coming to the planets, so far in the previous videos I have explained the effects of having Chara Atmakaraka or the highest degree planet in your particular houses, all the 12 houses. Now coming to the planets, now we are counting only the 7 planets which have physical body, whereas we are excluding Rahu and Ketu here. So the way planets or the things that planets influence here is, planets will have influence on your character. When a person has, let's say in this case, if a person has Chara Atmakaraka as Saturn, or the highest degree planet as Saturn, then the person will have Saturn's influence on their character in general. So it's the same way for all the 7 planets. So I'm starting with Saturn, so that if I started with Sun, then people might get confused between Chara Atmakaraka and Atmakaraka, as Sun is the natural 𝙎𝘼𝙏𝙐𝙍 Atmakaraka in our chart. That's why I'm starting with Saturn. So if Saturn is your highest degree planet in your birth chart, then this shows that all these good traits, all these bad traits, and these solutions will be for you. Now, coming to the good traits of Saturn, or the people who have Saturn as the highest degree. Saturn gives this person or makes this person very responsible. Now all these things can vary depending on the sign it is in, the conjunction of other planets. These things can alter these traits a bit. Now let's say if Saturn is the Chara Atmakaraka, so it will give the person the ability to make rules. Now let's say Saturn is with Sun, and Saturn is the Chara Atmakaraka. Sun shows a kingly behavior, or someone who commands or controls, or who is an authority. So they may set good rules or rules in general, but they won't abide by the rules or follow the rules as well, because Sun's influence is there. When Saturn is with Sun and Saturn is the Chara Atmakaraka, then that can show that Sun's influence will make this person a bit authoritative or commanding. Even if they don't have commanding ability or the status and don't have authority, they will set rules and they will rarely follow it. That can be seen through Saturn and Sun being together. So yeah, these things can vary a bit. Whenever we go into a particular placement of a particular chart, then the thing we should check is the conjunction, the aspects, and the lordship. All these things should be considered, and that is when we can go to the core and be completely accurate about the person, because otherwise it will vary a lot. Let's say this person who has Saturn Chara Atmakaraka has the ability to let's say stability, serious, to be consistent. Now if the same person has a very strong influence of Mercury also, then the person will have a very difficult time being consistent, but from the core will want to be consistent and will struggle a lot to be consistent. Yeah. That can also be seen. So these things vary a lot. Now let's say in astrology, to keep things simple, all we have to do is see the effects of each of the things in our chart, and after that in chemistry we can see test tubes. These are the test tubes, and we can see these huge, I don't know what these things are called in chemistry, like a flask maybe, and we keep filling from these small test tubes. We keep filling different chemicals into this huge cauldron or a pot maybe, and there will be a final mixture. That is our character or everything in our life in general. So, trying to understand what these test tubes are will be important, and this is one of the things that will help you add a chemical or something with a test tube to the pot. So I'll go into explaining these things later on once we have finished all the basic things like Atmakaraka or Darakaraka or exaltation, debilitation. These are all simple concepts. Once we know these concepts, understanding a chart becomes very easy. So today I'm starting with Saturn. Yeah. First thing would be Saturn makes a person very responsible. If Saturn's influence is strong, meaning if Saturn is the highest degree planet out of the 7 planets, since we are excluding Rahu and Ketu, Saturn's influence will make this person responsible. No matter what the conjunction or the aspects or the lordship may be, even if Saturn is very weak or debilitated too, even then the person will be responsible, but under responsibility many things can vary a lot. Like let's say if Saturn is debilitated but is the highest degree planet, then this person will be responsible, but the person will have very bad employees under him. So because of the employees or because of the subordinates or the people who work below him, his project or some end product may get ruined. That is just one way of saying it, but this person will be responsible, that is for sure. And coming to work, this person will be very work oriented, can sometimes become workaholics, but generally are very good at work because Saturn shows work, and this person will have some good ethics, no, not completely ethics, but will have a neat set of rules while they perform any work. They will be a good employee in general. That can be seen through work. Then coming to rules, they can set rules well. They can follow the rules well, as long as nothing is contrasting these particular points. Because many things can be contrasted by other planets or other planet influences. So yeah, there's not going to be 100% responsible or 100% work because of other planets' influences, but they will have a very strong influence of these points. So they will be good at making rules, they will be good at following the rules. I've seen many Saturn Chara Atmakaraka people who follow rules very well, especially if they have Saturn and Ketu's influence. They follow rules very well because Ketu makes a person very good and decent in general. Yeah, and Saturn will make the person disciplined, so they will be good at following rules, and they can maintain routine or can maintain a schedule very well. They like to work in a scheduled way, or they prefer having a day fully planned and then continuously checking all the tasks whichever they had in mind. So they prefer being routine, and that can be very good, and that's why they can be very productive too. And consistency, it's not like they set routines and they won't be able to meet it. They will meet it and they will stay consistent with the routines too. That is because Saturn gives consistency too. Slow paced, but yeah, these people may be a bit slow, but they will constantly attack throughout the day and finish their task eventually. And they will be very consistent and methodical about this too. And they can be seen as Saturn is a very mature and very strict planet. They can be seen as very mature, or they may seem a bit older for their age. Yeah, that can sometimes happen, not always, but yeah, they will have a mature mind for sure. That is for sure. They will be the complete opposite of the planet, the person who would have Mercury Chara Atmakaraka. Mercury Chara Atmakaraka will make a person very enthusiastic and childlike, whereas these people are very mature, the complete opposite. And they prefer stability. They maintain stability, especially when it comes to income and the cash flow. They prefer stability, and they always maintain good stability of income, especially because they have a mature mindset, and they can be following schedule or routine very consistently. This can make the person very stable in anything they do, and overall have a stable life in general, especially materially. And they can be very serious. Now this can be good, this can be bad. That's why I've written serious in negative too, because I've seen people who have the right amount of seriousness to get their things done, and then being able to stay calm and enjoy their time too. But sometimes it can be the opposite too, whereas they can become very serious. But yeah, in the good side, they can have the right amount of seriousness needed to finish a work or a job, and being able to relax after that. So being serious, and especially they do well in corporate settings and dealings and law. Yeah, you can't completely see the career based on these things, but this can be a good plus point while seeing career. Yeah. So they can be serious about the work they perform, especially the work. Yeah. Now coming to negative points, they can be workaholics. They can overwork, and the worst thing I've seen Saturn Charatmakaraka people do is they demand others to be the same level of workaholics. They just expect others also to work hard, and they themselves will work hard, so their life can completely revolve around work. Or let's say if this is the housewife, then the person may like everything to be in certain order, very tidy, always neat. Like the slabs should be empty, slabs should be neat, many things. uh, they can be very demanding, especially work related, materialistic things related. They can be very demanding. They can demand a person without thinking about their emotions to perform any particular job they want it to be done. So let's say they are a manager or a boss, then completely disregarding the employee's emotions, they can demand this person to work a lot, work overtime. These things can be the negative aspects. Serious, yeah, they can become very serious about very small minor things, and unnecessarily create conflicts too. And these things, all these plus and minus vary depending on the conjunctions and other things in a chart. But whenever it comes to certain points like responsible, like work will be one of the very important things for this person universally in general. Yeah. And whenever it comes to seriousness, they can annoy a person who has Mercury's influence very easily, because these people want very strict way of life, whereas Mercury would like to flow in general, go with the flow kind of people, and enjoy life in general. And these people will have very serious way of looking at life. So coming to status, they can care about status a lot, and this can become very excessive. As see, there are all the good points, like they can work well, they can follow rules, they can follow routines consistently, they can be very mature, they're always very stable. Even mentally, they will have a lot of stability, like they won't waver easily. And all these things will most of the time be because of status, because they want status, a good status, a rank, a name in society. That's why they'll maintain all of these things, and this will be one of the complete opposite. Now let's say Saturn and Saturn influenced person, meaning Chara Atmakaraka Saturn and Chara Atmakaraka Mercury, would be complete opposites because they, even if they have common things, the way their mind works will be very different. Yeah. So these people will care a lot about status. Even Mercury person will like a lot of attention and status, but the way they approach it is very different. So these Saturn influenced people, meaning Chara Atmakaraka Saturn, can make a person care a lot about their status, and that can also show that they can have a very strong ego too. Ego or pride too, because they're so work because they're so hardworking in general, and they attain some status or the other, because Saturn is a planet that shows hard work is the way to attain things, and that will be their way of looking at life too. So yeah, they can have a lot of pride or some attachment towards their status too. This can make a person very rigid and inflexible. They will always oppose change. They like stable life in general, and they will do well when, let's say, there are two people, A and B, and A is always in a single place. Like A has A owns a house and is staying in that house for the past 30-40 years, and B is constantly switching houses for every 2-3 years and probably rents these houses. So this A would be the Saturn person, because Saturn people like stability and they hate change in general. Because whenever change takes place, that can break their consistency and their routines too. So they would really hate that, and that's why that can make these people very rigid. Whereas a Mercury influenced person would enjoy changes and enjoy new things in general. Yeah. So that can make these people very rigid, and they can be very insensitive, as we can see in dramas or in any of these things, that all the bosses or the managers being very demanding, and at the same time disregarding the emotions of the employee or the person working under them. These can be the people, because they just care a lot about work and getting the thing done, and because of that they can become very insensitive too, and they will have a cold appearance at times. And this is after all the filtering of let's say the conjunction of other planets, meaning relationship of other planets or aspects, and there are simple things like lordship too. And if none of those things are contrasting this, then this person can seem very cold, may speak harshly or rude, in a rude manner, may even speak like a commander too at times. So this can this influence can make a person very cold, and even in the character, even in appearance, they might have a serious face most of the time. So the solutions would be to maintain a balance in life. Now this balance is completely different from the balance they try to maintain. This is maintaining good relationships, spending time with the children, and spending time socializing, trying to maintain an overall balance in life becomes very important for this person. If they do this, then they'll lose all of the negative things, and they can keep the positive things because they're born with it. And these are the things they eventually develop after being very workaholic, or focusing on work and having all the good points. They eventually develop all these things. But if they focus on balance a proper balance in life, then they can lose all of these negative traits, and they can go with the flow and try to let go of things, let things go as they're meant to, let things unfold in general, as these people try to be a bit controlling of things, because they feel unless they control, they may lose many things here. That's why they can be very rigid, and they can be the complete opposite person, like a Mercury influenced person would enjoy without planning a trip, without planning anything in a trip. They would be the person who would just go on the plane and completely see how things unfold, whereas these people will plan every minute. So those things can be very annoying to the people around them. So trying to let things unfold, unravel on their own, and let things flow in general, let the people around them be a bit free in general, will be very good for a Saturn influenced person. Trying to accept change, accepting change, accepting the things that aren't in this person's control, trying to be accepting towards, let's say, giving up control, and letting life flow in general is going to be very useful for this person. Just trying to accept that you can't control the way your life goes will be a very good thing for this person. Accepting change, adapting to change, these things can be good. Trying to let go of control, trying to control the people around them will be good for this person. Normally Saturn influenced person, meaning Chara Atmakaraka Saturn person, can try to control the people around them and tell them what to do, and constantly remind the person what to do. These can be the traits. And lastly, meditation. Meditation is universal solution, but for these people, meditation can be good, meaning can really help them feel a balance in life, because they're constantly, let's say, if this person is working in a corporation, they'll constantly have the hunger to climb up the ladder, whereas meditation can really help them actually climb the ladder, but without being so hungry or being an obsessive person. They can also be obsessive. So trying to meditate, set some time, and let's say around 10-20 minutes is more than enough every day just for meditation will be very good for this person. Taking care of themselves will be very good for this person, because normally Saturn influenced person will ignore their body or the limitations of body and try to get things done a lot. That's why trying to take care of their lagna or body will be very good for this person. Trying to understand the influence of planets and the characteristics that certain planets can give a person, and trying to understand the house they are in, and trying to understand where their sun is situated, because that is the 𝙎𝘼𝙏𝙐𝙍 Atmakaraka or the natural Atmakaraka. If you do all these three and try to find the common thing, that will be your purpose, goal, and the way to approach. So I think this covers Saturn.